Welcome to Beat by Beat, where your favorite games are reborn as immersive audio adventures. Today we return to Guardia Castle, where a hidden enemy lurks in plain sight, and a mysterious swordsman joins the battle. They say courage isn't the absence of fear, it's what you do despite it. And sometimes courage comes in the form of a frog with a sword. The forest path was quiet now, the battle long past. Crono, Lucca, and Marle stood outside Guardia Castle once more, the queen safely restored. The timeline healed, at least for now. But something still felt wrong.
Did anyone else notice?
Lucca said, adjusting her goggles.
The Chancellor. He was off. Still off. Even after the real queen came back.
Marle nodded slowly.
His eyes. Cold. Like he was trying to smile but forgot how.
Crono said nothing, but his hand drifted to his sword. He'd felt it too, an unease like a thread left untied. So they went back to the forest, to the cathedral. The forest was darker this time, as if the trees themselves remembered what had happened beneath their boughs.
Lucca,
Marle whispered.
are you sure this is safe?
Nope.
Lucca replied, aiming her energy gun into the dark.
But neither is letting whatever this is fester.
The cathedral loomed ahead, stone quiet, its stained glass casting fractured moonlight across the broken steps. The heavy doors creaked open, and the trio stepped inside. Silence. No praying nuns, no flickering candles, just the musty scent of mildew and old wood. Crono led the way down the central aisle, sword drawn. At the altar, Lucca examined the hidden switch they'd used before. It clicked again, and the wall slid open, revealing the secret stair. They descended slowly, torches flaring to life on the stone walls with every step. The catacombs below were colder now, and lined with bones. Something had been feeding. Then, a hiss, a low growl, and footsteps, too many to count. Shadows spilled into the corridor, taking form, twisted imps, crawling creepers, and hunched goblins with jagged blades. Marle backed up.
There's too many.
A voice cut through the dark, clear, calm, commanding.
Lower thy guard, and thou art allowing the enemy in.
From behind them stepped a knight, green-skinned, cloaked in blue, with armor shining faintly in the torchlight. A frog. Walking upright, holding a broadsword nearly as tall as himself. Marle's eyes widened.
Is that a...
Frog.
The knight said, bowing slightly.
'Tis what I am called, and thou?
Lucca blinked.
You talk?
Aye.
Frog replied, eyes not leaving the advancing horde.
And I fight!
He leapt forward, literally leapt, landing in the center of the creatures with a graceful spin. His sword flashed in arcs of silver light, cutting through the chaos like it had weight beyond steel. The monsters howled and scattered, retreating into the cracks between stone. Crono stared. He had seen skilled fighters, but this was something else. Something noble. Later, in the quiet of a side chamber, Frog sheathed his sword and looked them over.
The queen is safe?
He asked.
She's back at the castle.
Marle confirmed.
But how did you know?
Frog's expression darkened.
The queen was kidnapped not long before thy arrival. I searched for her, but in her absence the court turned to the Chancellor. That was his opportunity.
Wait, what do you mean?
Marle asked.
He was not who he appeared to be.
Frog said grimly.
A creature called Yakra took his place. A shapeshifter. It mimicked the Chancellor's voice, his face, his title. But its goal was to ensure the real queen was never found. To weaken Guardia from within.
Lucca nodded, processing.
So Yakra's been posing as the Chancellor this whole time. And we've been talking to it.
Frog nodded.
It uses deception as its blade, but no longer.
Crono stepped forward, hand on his chest. A silent offer. Let us help. Frog hesitated.
This is my burden.
Marle gently took his hand.
Not anymore.
The four of them returned to Guardia Castle under cover of night. The guards, sensing Frog's aura, or perhaps sensing Marle's authority, let them pass without question. The corridors were quiet, too quiet. As they neared the throne room, Lucca paused.
If he's still here, he'll know something's up.
Frog nodded.
Then we surprise him.
With a push, they flung open the great doors. The Chancellor stood at the foot of the throne, hands behind his back, speaking softly to the king.
And if I may suggest, Your Majesty, we should increase taxes on the southern...
Cut the act, Yakra!
Lucca said. The Chancellor turned, his face morphing. First a sneer, then something else. Skin bubbling, mouth stretching, spine cracking as the human form melted away. In his place stood a grotesque creature, towering, slug-like, with jagged armor, twitching antennae, and a mouth full of needle teeth.
Clever children!
Yakra hissed.
But not clever enough.
The fight began in a heartbeat. Crono rushed forward, blade slashing low. Yakra twisted unnaturally, dodging with an insectile lurch. Marle conjured a wave of ice magic, frost racing across the floor. Lucca's gun lit the throne room with bursts of fire. Yakra laughed, a bubbling, awful sound.
You think you can stop time's unraveling with steel and sparks? This kingdom will fall like all the rest.
He lashed out, his long barbed tail striking Lucca in the side. She hit the ground hard, gasping. Frog stepped forward.
No more!
He raised his blade with both hands, whispered a name.
Masamune.
Light enveloped the sword. He leapt high, higher than seemed possible, and came down in a perfect arc. The blade struck true. Yakra screamed, a sound that rattled the stained glass windows. Light burst from his chest as his form crumbled, folding in on itself like paper in flame. When it was over, nothing remained but smoke and silence. The king, who had cowered behind the throne, slowly rose.
I was deceived.
Frog bowed low.
He deceived many, but the queen is safe.
And who are you, noble knight?
Frog looked away.
No one, sire. Not anymore.
He turned to leave. Later, outside the castle gates, the dawn just beginning to crest the hills, Marle stopped him.
Where will you go?
Frog didn't answer at first.
I have debts to repay. To Cyrus, to the queen. I must walk my path alone.
Crono offered him a hand. Frog looked at it, then smiled softly.
Thou art brave. Keep her safe.
With a nod, he turned and vanished into the mist. Lucca crossed her arms.
So, what now?
Crono looked up. The pendant around Marle's neck had begun to shimmer faintly, just like before. In the air behind them, a ripple twisted the space above the grass, a time gate opening.
I recalibrated the portal.
Lucca said.
It should take us back, home, to our own time.
Marle exhaled, shoulders relaxing for the first time in days.
I'm ready. Let's go back.
They stepped into the light together, vanishing into the swirl of time. None of them saw the royal guards watching from the battlements above, and none of them knew what or who was waiting on the other side. Thanks for listening to Beat by Beat. If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review and share it with a fellow adventurer. New episodes drop weekly. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and join us as we bring more epic quests to life, one beat at a time.